Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bronx Muchachos podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we got everybody with us. We got Alex.
Hello.
We got David.
What's going on, everybody?
We got Danny.
What's good, everybody?
And, of course, we got our brother from another mother, our good old friend Paul from Prospects1500. Paul, what's up, brother?
Hey, good evening, guys.
All right, everyone, you guys know the drill. Rate, subscribe, review, like on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Odyssey, all the spots that you always go to. Don't forget, if you guys are watching here on 5 Reasons Network, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, let us know what's up, get in the chats, talk to us. And then, of course, this first segment's always brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to browse, find, and buy your tickets for all sporting events, concerts. Spring training's here, regular season's right around the corner. Get your tickets. Minor league is coming around. Get your tickets for minor league games too. Use our promotional code Bronx Muchachos, which is all capital letters, to get your discount on your first order. David, why don't you fill in everybody what's been going on today, buddy?
So before we get started with our shenanigans, we would just love to give a really big shout out to Craig and Nikki over at New York Giants Rush, the Rush Hour podcast crew. They hosted Mark and I last night. It was a great time, great show. Was finally glad we got to connect with those guys. Giants listening to that YouTube show, listening to their podcast. 3rd and 3 podcast is Nikki Giss's podcast. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm a Patriots fan, but I even still listen to it to get some football info. So go check them out. And also check out our boys up in Connecticut, Kevin and Joe, on Officially Offsides, part of the B3 Sports Network. So check them out as well for all your football content. But, it was a great time last night. We got to meet Scott Sanders. He used to pitch for the Tigers and the Cubs, Mariners, and Padres. He had a lot of really good stories and had a really good Joe Girardi one too. So, like I said, go on that YouTube channel and check out our episode that Mark and I did with them last night. It was a blast. Definitely looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, man, they were a great time. They're great people. Thanks again to Nikki and Craig for letting us jump on there with them, man.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we've got some time of spring. We've got some spring training games under our belts. So let's bring this around the horn. Let me start with Paul. Paul, so far, what do you think about how Dominguez is playing, how Peraza is playing, how Volpe is playing? Let's start with those because those are the 3 names that everyone wants to hear about. Let's see how. Let me hear what you got to say about them.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, J-Dom looks real good. He looks ready for AA, maybe even AAA. I think you start him at AA with a mid-season, early season, call up to AAA and go from there. Volpe looks ready, man. Like, let's get him some AAA reps. Here's the thing, and I was talking to one of you guys off air today. It's gonna be IKF and Gleyber at shortstop and second base, and they're just gonna disappoint us and either put Peraza on the bench or send him down to AAA. It's just kind of the way it works. So even if Volpe and Peraza prove that they're ready, it's not gonna happen. Even if Aaron Boone said today IKF's going into the outfield, it's not gonna happen. We know what it is. It's gonna be Aaron Hicks in 1, IKF at shortstop, Aaron Hicks in left field, whatever. It's something we come to know and expect at this point. And I know I talked to you, Mark.
Wow.
Volpe again at second base. I'm so excited for that. Literally, you saw the middle infield of the New York Yankees by 2024 today. Shortstop, second base. Boom, there it is.
Guys, before we keep going, I wanted to say we've all seen Major League, the movie Major League. Paul right now sounds like that old guy that was in the outfield that they were in that losing streak right now. Like we haven't even played a game yet.
But you know I'm right, Alex. That's the problem.
Bro,
they did to Peraza last year alone.
You're wrong.
Look what they did to him
Man, this did not take long.
Why did we call him up to AAA to force the
Did not
bench?
take long at all.
IKF is making a bunch of money. They're gonna end up playing him. Aaron Hicks is gonna be less.
$6 million is a bunch
He's
of
making
money,
$6
bro?
million.
Are you serious?
That's not a
You're
money.
good.
What industry?
Have someone take him. Who's going to take him right now? No one.
The
The Dodgers should have already been on the phone with him that day.
I've heard rumors that Cashman's been on the phone with the Dodgers about sending him out there. He's been looking to ship him, man. That's some rumors out there that he's been looking
Clock's
to
a
ship.
ticking.
Same with Donaldson. Like Donaldson, you're sitting there
Clock's
eating.
ticking, Cashman.
Yeah, exactly. This should have already been done because someone else has already called him.
The
With an offer.
minute
Jose Iglesias has already
that
been on the phone with him. Some other free agent has already been on the phone with him. Didi Gregorius.
the
probably been on
minute
in
the minute
LA.
the news came out about Gavin Lux blowing his knee out, Brian Cashman should have been on the phone with the Dodgers GM. Like,
Right,
Who
but the
says-
Dodgers GM's probably already called Jose Iglesias, probably already called Didi Gregorius, probably already covered all his bases on
Yeah.
those free agents, those crappy free agents that are going to cost you no money at all.
I am just in shock right now that it's like 1 week into spring training and we are in like
All's
mid-season
already ended.
form. We are in mid-season form right now with like the season is over. Oh man.
No, I didn't say the season was over.
Wow.
The
No, I didn't think the
negativity
season was
is
over.
appalling. It's appalling. We should have
Can we-
throw buckets right here. Like
Paul,
that
can
was
we
just
have
disgusting.
Paul?
Gosh.
Can we have at least opening day first, and then go for it?
So all right. So Alex, I want you to make sure you tweet me on opening day when IKF is at shortstop, and
He's
we're
not
just
gonna be at
super
short.
disappointed.
We got to put something on the table right now because I guarantee you IKF is not going to be starting at shortstop for the Yankees come opening day.
He will
I
somewhere in
guarantee
the
you.
infield or
Water
outfield.
bet.
Barring any injury, I don't think so either. Barring
No
Water
any
way.
bet
injury.
Do a water bet. Whoever's the loser has to pour water on their head
Something.
and put it as a YouTube reel or something like that. I don't know.
ALS challenge. We'll donate the proceeds to that or something. Well, whatever it is.
We'll come up with
You know,
something.
Wounded Warrior, something, bro. Like we'll do. We got to do something here.
No,
because
it's the IKF.
no,
ridiculous.
It's the
Oh,
IKF.
no,
challenge. That's
next
what it's
season-
called.
I got it, Danny. I got you. Next winter, one of you, the loser between Danny and Paul, the loser's got to go do the polar bear challenge.
Something.
I do that every year anyway where I'm from. Let's bring it. Bring it, bro. I got a beach right down the street. Let's do it. I'm down. I do that every year anyway.
So let's do something a little more challenging. We'll talk about this offline, but it's ridiculous. There's absolutely no way. There's no way. There's no
All
way.
right,
The way
Danny,
Peraza
keep it going. Keep it going, man. Preach on
The
it.
way Peraza is playing, I mean, he made that kind of short throw today to first, but okay, he gets a little bit of a pass on that.
I mean, IKF does that
first-
every week anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Peraza, Volpe is like nasty, and he's a stud, and he's showing that he came ready to play, and it's just super exciting. He's super athletic for a second baseman, and just seeing the movements over there, it just looks so natural for Volpe at second. So he's like just like a legit stud baseball player, and I'm hard pressed to think that he's going to start in AAA, but I wouldn't be surprised just because of control. You want to capitalize on service time. So Volpe's probably going to start at AAA, but Peraza, he's going to be our shortstop. The fact that Boone said, "Hey, if he doesn't win this competition, he's going to move to the outfield." Was already thinking of ideas of him not playing short. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'll put him somewhere else, but shortstop for the foreseeable future." So Peraza's the guy. He's going to win that job.
Dave, what about you? What 2 cents you got for this?
I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw this much talent in Major League camp. It's just been ridiculous. Like the 2 plays that Volpe made the other day, it had my jaw on the floor. That double play where he threw it the third, and then Cabrera got the guy out, tagged the guy out, and threw it the second, got the other guy out, and then Volpe like basically falling to his right hand side and chucking the ball over the second, get that runner out. And then to see what J-Dom's doing and seeing what Andres Chaparro is doing. I mean, that grand slam was a friggin' nuke today. And that dude just keeps hitting the ball harder and harder every single day. Who knows what's going to happen at the end of the spring? They're just way too many good young players in camp this year to really make a definitive answer out of any of it. I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Peraza is the starting shortstop. I'm crossing my fingers that, there's a platoon situation in left field between either Hicks and Cabrera or Hicks, Cabrera, and Florial. But I don't know how it's going to shake out. I'm just really excited to see all this young talent we have in spring training this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. definitely be on the side of like I'm happy to see in the future because like what we have in the farm system going on is that it's building for
It's crazy, man.
it's building up for dynasty life. That's something that we need, and that's the good thing. And when it comes to this whole battle with left field and this battle with the infield, who knows? Like really, like you guys, if you saw it on YouTube, you saw what I was lipping. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing that's going on right now.
Competition. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Danny, because
okay.
I was gonna bring out a question.
What I was gonna say
Dave.
What I was gonna say is that good competition brings the best out of players. So the fact that you see Volpe and Peraza and J-Dom, well, J-Dom doesn't really have a chance to make it this team, but you see the tools, like him in the box compared to like other 20-year-olds, they're jumpy. They're moving around in the box. He's there. The game is moving slow for him. And that's just so impressive to see from a 20-year-old in his first big league camp. Like, yo, bro, he's like playing in Dominican right now. Like the way he's looking in the box. He's comfortable. He feels like he belongs. So I love to see that from J-Dom. And the intensity from Volpe's amazing.
You're 100% right, Danny. I wanted to touch on that too. Like Dominguez, you have to remember with Dominguez, he signed at 16. He lost all of his year 17 due to COVID. Came and was playing at 18. All right, so his 18. The year he was 18, he lost all that developmental time. And now then you saw last year how he reworked the left-handed swing, and everything started clicking, and everything clicked, and all of a sudden now the strikeout rate was going down, the walk rate was going up. He started hitting from the right-hand side better. He's a legitimate switch hitter, which is something which this team definitely needs. And like you said, he's in the box. He knows the strike zone. He's not jerking at any of these pitches that are close. He's spitting on them and walking away. He's like, no, I'll take my walks. I'll get on base. I'll steal a base here when I need to. I don't need to do anything. He's just showing that all the naysayers and the prospect fatigue that he's been getting is legit. That it was prospect fatigue. He's not a bad player at all, and he should have been ranked higher than half the guys that the pipeline had in the outfield. That's for another time. But like going back to Peraza, Volpe, like those two, Volpe's going to be starting off in AAA. I foresee that, and possibly in AAA, give him like 6 weeks, let him get a little bit more time at second base or something like that. So when they make the move to bring him up, he's quite acclimated to it all instead of just taking like a spring training for it. I mean, I think these. I told you guys this before. I think these top three of Peraza, Volpe, and Dominguez will be better, and right now actually are better than the three of the previous baby bombers of Judge, Torres, and Sanchez combined. Like those three combined versus those three, I would take what our new guys over what we had before.
I just want to touch on Volpe one more time. The speed is crazy. I mean, that guy turned like that ball into a double sliding in. Even when he hit into the double play the other day, his helmet's flying off and he's blowing down that line. If that's like a little bit of a bad throw, he's still safe. He's not in that double play. Like that speed is crazy. And it played multiple games at this point. Oh,
it has 100%.
I mean, I just see like he could be the leadoff hitter for the next decade. I just throwing it out there.
That's a good choice. And didn't leave anybody out here. John Fernandez, what's up, man? Saw you in the chat. Let's go Bronx Bombers fans. You're 100% right. Mama Guilfoyle is telling baby David that him and I were great last night, and she has a question. I'll let Dave answer this question first and foremost. How often does camp translate to the season success?
Well, Mom, thanks for checking in as usual. One of our top fans. Appreciate you. Love you. How does it translate to season success? Well, Mom, I'll give you a prime example. Kyle Higashioka is the person that pops into mind. Last year in spring training, he hit 10 home runs or 8 home runs, whatever the hell it was. Then comes the regular season, and I think he hit less than 10 all season long and batted 175 when he was batting close to 350 in spring training. So sometimes it translates, sometimes it doesn't. spring training is weird because you got a lot of veteran talent playing against guys from the mid to low levels of the minor leagues and some AAA guys sprinkled in there along the way. Spring training is used to evaluate your prospects and where they're going to fall in the minor league system. Your major league guys are probably going to play once or twice a week, 2 to 3 at bats at most. Your reliever's going to throw maybe 1 or 2 innings. Starters may go 2 1/3 to 3 innings, depending on where you are in spring training. So spring training is like a weird environment. Hope that explains it a little bit. But also shout out to Jeremy Larquente, our brother from New Jersey, checking in too. What's up, Jay?
So yeah, I mean, you're right, Dave, and it's fair, good point that you're telling your mom. Jeremy thinks what I just said was a bold claim, but he thinks I might be right too. So, hey man, if I'm right, I'm down. If I'm right, that means we just got a third of the lineup set for the next 10 years at least.
Mark,
and
I think you've been
and
right
important positions too, right up the middle. What was that, Alex?
I think you've been right on that for a minute though, bro. Like you have been messaging me privately since 2020 on JDOM.
Yeah.
Let's be real. You've been spot on all these on basically all these guys coming up. You've been spot on it. Everything you've preached to us privately and on the show, you have been right. We're not even gonna beat around the bush on that. And it's showing right now in spring training, and it's given us all the satisfaction that we know for the next 10 years things are going to look decent still, no matter what. Things might crumble down, but we still have the means and the core of what we still need to do what we need to do.
Mark is the baseball gods speak to him and him alone.
The voices come to me, man. The voices come to me.
Yeah, he's like Moses, dude, just standing up there with the commandments, talk to me.
I part the Red Sea for everyone to follow. That's what I do.
Remember when at the beginning of the podcast, going into last year, I think we spoke a lot about building up the middle, right? And we spoke a lot about how Yankees really lacked that type of premier talent up the middle, and in order for them to get to the next level, they needed that. So, Gleyber coming up big last year, Trevino being who he was, the acquisition of Bader, and now you're seeing the second line with these prospects, Volpe, Peraza, J-Dom, those dudes up the middle, strong defensively. I think J-Dom might wind up in left if we do sign Bader to a long-term deal, but if we move on from Bader, we're still pretty strong with J-Dom in center field. He's not a slouch out there. So, and we see what the gloves could do with Peraza and Volpe. My concern is with Peraza specifically, I want to see the bat play at the big league level. If he wants to be a big everyday big league shortstop, he needs to hit at least 250, bare minimum. Now without the shift or anything like that, still provide that strong defense, but 250 with 20 homers, sign me up. Give me that every year with Peraza. I would love that. But
no, I agree. And the speed is gonna play. You could literally go Volpe, Peraza 1-2, and you have the speed demons on the bases right away. Then you can have somebody clean it up afterwards, J, Dom, Judge, etc. The one thing I am disappointed in, I talked to Mark about this yesterday, Austin Wells, man, that hurts. I mean, it's only a month. I get it. It's spring training and only probably 3 or 4 weeks after that. But that rib's going to hurt a little bit. That was essentially, I had him almost pegged to take over as the backup by say August-ish. Because why not? If he's hitting a AAA and Eshigawa was not hitting or somebody else isn't hitting at that point, you're gonna need somebody. I'm just a real big fan. You guys know Wells. I think that hurts a lot. So I was hoping he'd get to the big leagues sooner than later.
He's gonna get his play.
He is.
He's gonna probably make AAA.
It just hurts. Missing the spring training and missing the next month will kill him.
Well, Josh Bro is hurt too, so it's not like he has even competition.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's hurt.
So is Rortvet.
Yep, Rortvet, Josh Bro, Wells. The only guy, Navarez has kind of been impressive.
I was just about to bring him up.
I
was looking at his stats yesterday, and he's definitely someone I am keeping my eye on this year because he batted a combined 254 last year between high A and low A. But the year prior to that, in 2021, hit over 300 or close to 300. So he's definitely a catcher I'm keeping my eye on this year.
He even threw a runner out there, which is a lot harder now. He threw throwing someone out on the base pass is difficult.
He
was able to
definitely increased his pop the last couple of years. I mean, that was definitely a struggle coming in. Like, he had no pop in the bat in 16, 17, and 18. There was nothing there. And then the last couple of years, he's popped a little bit, gained a little bit of weight. I know that. I've seen a lot of video. But I don't – he's just a backup. I mean, he's someone that'll kind of linger around. He's more of an organizational guy. He'll get a shot. He'll get a cup of coffee, especially if he gets some injuries or something. But it's more of like an organizational backup type guy.
So, guys, I got a question for everybody. How's everybody feeling so far about the pitch clock?
I'll take this one first. I like it. I like it. Hold on. Yeah, I think I'll swing it to you, Dave, in a second. Dave and I are on two different ends of this thing. And that's kind of spoiler right there. But I like it. I feel like there's a flow, there's a better pace. There's none of this, pitcher taking 3 minutes to do it. I just find it funny that there was already a rule in place for pitcher has to pitch the ball within 12 seconds, and nobody could enforce that rule, so they had to make up a new rule to put it a little bit less, and then go across the board with this whole thing. But honestly, I like it. I think it speeds up the game some. But you'll inherently have time where the game's going to slow down just because of pitching changes, because of whatever the case may be with it, long at bats, whatever. That's part of baseball. But I think that the stopping like throwing 5 times over to first base is important to stall time, to warm up a bullpen. It makes the managers have to manage the game better. Like, this is where you're going to have to see Boone step. We all of us, with the exception of Danny, really hammer Boone a lot. But this is where Boone is going to have to learn the next step in the bullpen. Going to have to jump in, boom, and figure this out 3 batters beforehand, because I don't have the luxury of throw over to first base. Okay, let's have the catcher come out to have a long talk. Okay, now let's have the pitching coach come out. So I like it, Dave. Tell me.
Oh gosh, here we go.
I'm a fan of it to an extent. What I have a problem with is what happened between the Braves and the Red Sox the other day, where the batter took too long to get in the batter's box, and it was basically called strike 3. Okay, this is where I have an issue with it. My buddy Matt at work, who's a huge Braves fan, was absolutely going batshit crazy over this, and asked me, he's like, "You guys have a podcast? What do you guys think?" And I'm like, "Actually, you know what? You just gave us an idea for this week." So shout out to my buddy Matt at work.
I had that idea way before Matt.
Whatever.
I'm gonna pour that one right there.
So I don't like the fact that the game can end on a strikeout. Okay, can you imagine if it's the Yankees and the Astros in Game 7 of the ALCS, and the Astros win that way on a strike 3 call because someone takes too long getting in the damn batter's box, or someone getting their 3,000th strikeout with it ending this way? I'm not a fan of padding someone's stats on a technicality like this. So I'm a fan of it to an extent. Yeah, it does speed up the game. It does stop the shenanigans. I mean, can you imagine this pitch clock being enforced when Chuck Knobloch and Nomar Garciaparra would stand there and play with their batting gloves for like 2 minutes?
It would have been nice. You know what? I didn't like watching a baseball game for 4 hours when I was that old. I don't like watching a baseball game for 5 hours now.
What I want to see is a batter or a pitcher. What I want to see is a batter or a pitcher get ejected and argue about this. Let's see some real arguing. Because here's the thing. Like, this has only happened in spring training. Like, Manny Machado took a strike, didn't give a crap. The Braves batter. He's a minor leaguer. Didn't give a crap. He kind of just sat there like, oh, okay. Let's see it when it, like you said, Dave. Let's see when it matters, an Astros Yankees game, and let's see a Aaron Boone get ejected or a player actually get ejected and or argue and see where this goes. I just feel like the players themselves right now, they don't really care. They have to get used to it because they do. But when it actually matters, if it's in an important game, if it's a game like 160 or something, then you'll see something like go crazy, and then they'll have to reevaluate this.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh boy, Danny's chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy this is going on.
So
We'll just sit back and watch.
yeah, I love the pitch clock. I like it. I enjoy it. But as a teammate, right, it's your responsibility as a player to be in that box, to be on the mound. You know the rules. Be within the confines of the rules. It doesn't matter if it's Game 7 of the World Series or for spring training. Do what you got to do within the confines of the rule. All right. If you go outside of that, that's like $1,000 fine in kangaroo court. You're gonna get destroyed in kangaroo court if you do like some pitch clock. I don't know I don't even know what to call it. But I'm getting myself
Shenanigans.
But
Shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans. Like, bro, like you're responsible for that. Do what you got to do. Get in the box. Get on the mound. Be ready. You know what the stipulations are. That's a big time fine in kangaroo court. 100,000%. For our new baseball fans, or if you don't know what kangaroo court is, it's pretty much how the players what's the word I'm looking for? It's how the players
police themselves. They police themselves. Yeah,
Exactly.
Police themselves or hold each other accountable.
Exactly. So that's like a huge fine for me in kangaroo court. Some rookies taking somebody out for like a $10,000 dinner.
Paul, when it comes to your thing, I think the first person is going to be Zach Greinke. I think he's going to be the first person who's going to get it.
I see Max Scherzer going bonkers. I see Max Scherzer going bonkers on it.
I've heard Matt Scherzer is actually okay with it so far, though.
I think it's going to be a veteran. I do agree, Alex. I think it's going to be some sort of veteran hitter or veteran pitcher. I don't think it's going to be any young kids.
But now, Dave, on your whole account, bro. I'm sorry, you are a grown man. You got a job to do. If it's gonna take you, if it takes you 30 seconds to get in there and you can't handle it, no, the pitch just happened and I gotta be in the box still and be ready. I'm sorry, man. Be ready, man. Like when we were growing up as kids, it was like strike one, okay, I'm still there. I'm not moving. Strike two, I'm not moving. I'm trying to get this game over with. Trying to move on. Like move on to the next man. I'm not trying to let me go make this game go for 10 hours because, that's what my friends want to do. They just want to, watch me sit at the batter's box all day long. No. And guess what? As a fan, I don't want to see it either. I want the game to move on. I remember back when I was growing up going to games in the 80s and early 90s. It was moving. None of this whole let's get off the bag. Let's look around. Let's look at wow, look at the butterfly. No, I don't care about the butterflies. Get the game going.
So I wish Manny
one thing.
Machado
I guess I must just be a weirdo because
Ricky Henderson would not have gotten all his bases if the game was going so slow in the 70s and 80s.
I wish Manny Machado would have got his strike during the regular season before getting paid, because it would have actually mattered to him, because he has that attitude and that swag where he would have been really angry about it.
True.
All I'm going to say is I really don't care how long a baseball game takes. I mean, when I go to a game, I don't want it to be over in an hour. I don't care if I actually go to a game if I'm sitting there for 2 or 3 hours.
It's going to be done in under 3 hours. Games are going to be done in under 3 hours.
No, but what I'm saying is you got the extreme.
You're a parent too. You're going to be telling me,
and my son loves baseball. My son will sit there and watch a 9-inning baseball game.
You're going to get your ass beat by your wife when you get home because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning.
She loves going to the games too.
I just want to see one thing. Somebody brought something up to me. I wonder how much the owners are actually going to lose on this. Only because you lose that half hour or more of concessions, of people buying things, of all that stuff. So you move prices up, which people still, in essence, you're still paying that for that fries and those chicken tenders with the prices moving up. But I'd like to see what the revenue is
Inflation.
I mean, you're losing an hour of people buying food, beers, all that stuff. That's going to be big money.
Well, that's what the season. We're going to find out. That we're going to find out the season what happens with that.
So we got a question from Ivan Navarte. What player or position player need? Do the Padres?
I'm sorry. Dave. I'm sorry. We are a Yankee podcast. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for the comment, but I don't think we should be answering. We are Yankees, sir.
I'll answer.
Wow, Alex.
Nope. I'm in that mood today, guys.
All right, Alex is not Ivan. Alex is not going to answer your question on his stand on his principle.
Pace of play.
Ivan, what I think the Padres need, I think they need some bullpen help. Is what I think they need.
Well, they just signed Rougned Odor.
Well, that's not bullpen help.
There it is.
Nobody can play third base.
Contenders.
Our favorite odor, man.
Now they got Hader, but they need someone setting up in front of them. That's what I think they need. Paul, what do you got? What do you think? You know a lot about the Padres? You want to jump in and tell them what you think they need?
I want to talk about it. Hold on.
Go ahead, Danny. You got it. It's the floor to you. I'll take it afterward. But
we got a Fordham guy there, Nick Martinez, who was a reliever for them, swing guy, and now is going to be a starter for the Padres. So Nick was really good in that role for the Padres last year, so it's going to be interesting to see how he fits into that starter role. Seth Lugo, another guy that was a reliever that the Padres are going to try out as a starter, and he's got the high spin rate fastball. So maybe if one of those two dudes fail, they could revert back into that dude to be the bridge to Hader. So those are two options right there in-house for the Padres to kind of take that step forward and stabilize the bullpen.
So my concern is Hader. I mean, he struggled really mightily in San Diego when he came over there. His ERA was like 7-something, and he had some bomb games that he just terribly sucked in. That would be my first concern. And I mean, that outfield, past Soto, you don't really know what you got either. I mean, right now they got what? A couple kids. Matt Carpenter's lined up as an outfielder. Trent Grissom. You don't know too much about, what you're going to get out of that offensively out of that team.
Yeah, I mean, right now they have Tatis penciled in for right, but that's not going to be till the middle.
Yeah, did you see that experiment today?
Yeah, not good.
Yeah,
but they want to keep Soto on left. But enough of the Padres, pace of play. They're going to be a good team. Let's carry on. Thanks for the question, Ivan.
Back to our regularly scheduled program, please.
Oh, and Alex is back. All right.
God.
All right. So,
dude,
all right,
we're trying to get new listeners, bro. Come on.
I get you, Ivan.
All right. So,
Yankee.
So,
Yankee,
all right.
Man.
All right. So, I got a question. So,
Yankees,
spring training.
Yankees.
Here's a spring training Yankees question, right? And Alex get the first shot at this one. So we saw how Clarke Schmidt pitched the other day. He pitched really well. I think that cutter is a game changer for him right now.
Yes.
Fifth starter. Who we going with? You going Mingo or you going Clarke Schmidt?
Mingo.
Okay. Dave?
Sorry, that was a long pause there, but I had to think that question on the fly right there. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna go for that right now.
After watching the replay of both of them pitch the last couple of days, Domingo looks as good as he ever has.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he can regain his 2018 form. But Clarke, with that new cutter, man, he was electric in his start against the Braves. I would not want to be Aaron Boone making that decision, because both of these dudes came into camp on top of their game, ready to come out and battle, and I love it. You can't go wrong. Either one of them is going to be your long reliever in the bullpen, or one of them is going to be your number 5 starter. But if both of them can take what they've gained in spring training and during the off season in their own private training sessions and bring it into the regular season, you can't go wrong with either or. Or you could interchange if someone's got to skip a start or whatever, spot start, whatever the case may be.
I can see that happening.
I think it's going to be a tie at the end of spring training if both these guys keep on the same trajectory they're on right now.
Well, who do you got? If you got to pick one, who's your pick?
I go Clarke. I go with Clarke.
All right.
Yeah.
Paul?
I go with Schmidt. Yeah.
I'm going with Clarke, but with the caveat of we got to remember he's only had so many innings, like altogether. Period. I mean, we're talking 185 innings in the minors, only like 70 in the big league stage. He's probably not stretched out to give you a full season as a starter right now. And I'm going to toss in one more caveat and be Debbie Downer here. No way everyone stays healthy, so Dominguez is going to see some starts. Yeah. It's going to happen. He's going to see a dozen starts.
Other way around too. If they do the other way, no matter what.
If they name Domingo 5, Clarke's going to see some starts. It's going to happen. It's just the way baseball works. So I think both guys see a dozen starts.
I think you're going to see a 6-man rotation to start the season anyway.
That's where I was going next, Dave. I wouldn't mind, especially towards the middle of the season in the hot weather, have a spot start for a guy here or a guy there. I'm not saying altogether.
Manny,
I'm saying, right, so Garrett Cole pitches 120 pitches.
You know why Danny's against it? Because it makes sense. That's why he's against it. True military form. If it makes sense, don't do it.
I want to give him one extra day of rest.
Listen, we have 2 veteran dudes at the top of our rotation, in Cole and Rodon, who have never in their entire careers been in a 6-man rotation. You need those 2 dudes to be our horses, right? We got Nestor. We got to see what he does in year 3. Sevy, he's only going to pitch 150 innings, okay? But that's where the bulk guys like Clarke come in and Mike King come in to bridge that. But it's not going to be a 6-man rotation. It's not going to be giving Cole and Rodon for a full year or even a half a year or even 2 months an extra day.
But even Rodon.
Hold on. You do that at the end of the season if they agree to it. Because Cole and Rodon have say-so on what goes on in that rotation. I guarantee it. Aaron Boone and Matt Blake will cut to them first before any decisions are made.
But then you got to look at it the other way. Rodon's never had a season above 180 innings in the big leagues.
That's fine.
Which was
no one
year.
pitches.
That's
hardly anybody.
That's
hardly anybody in today's day and age in the big leagues pitches 200 innings. And most teams are in 5-man rotations. All right. And also, there's going to be multiple dudes making multiple starts throughout the season. It's just what it is. And it's like that every year.
And you got to actually put into
go with Mingo too.
But Danny, you also got to put into account also the whole with the whole speed the pitch clock going on and everything like that. Let's be real for a minute. Those back end people, they're not gonna be doing as many innings that they were doing before because they're speeding up because they're not getting the chance to go as slow as they want to go. It's not gonna affect Cole as much. It's not gonna affect Rodon as much. But then Nestor, Domingo, Schmidt, whoever's there, it's going to affect them. So they're going to be people that are going to be acting more, that they're going to be coming in there to relieve people with possibility. And I can see that happening too. Because they could have that utility. I'm not going to say Mingo, but Schmidt could also have that utility role going on.
100%. And I think that
bottom line,
for Clarke Schmidt.
Bottom line, we are not going to have a perfect season in this rotation. Somebody somewhere along the way, God forbid, but they are human. The bodies do break down. Someone is going to get hurt, and someone's going to have to step up and step in and make an impact. Shout out to my cousin Suzanne checking in from Rhode Island, by the way. Love you, Susie.
Dave,
someone along the line is going to get hurt.
Dave, I'm going to have to remember this episode because, when it's halfway through the season and the team went from a perfect team to a horrible team, and you're jumping off the cliff, I got to remind you that you said this at this point. It's going to happen.
I'm a passionate fan, dude.
All right. Say it on topic here. Hold on, wait. We're gonna stay on topic here for a second. I don't agree. I don't think that the 6-man rotation is going to happen. Excuse me. I think that I agree with everyone with the points that everyone's making. That Mingo and Clarke, they're going to piggyback. They'll either piggyback off each other, or they'll even turn around and piggyback off of someone else. I think more along the lines of one of them that someone's going to piggyback with Sevy too, just to make sure that Sevy gets the 100. That Danny was saying 150. I'm thinking more 160, 165 innings, something like that. That he gets in within that range there. But I think they've been the Yankees got Clarke Schmidt to be a starting pitcher when they drafted him. I think they're finally seeing that he now has the tools to be a what's it called, a starting pitcher. So I think I think he gets the first shot out the gate. I still think there's the lingering issues with Domingo that the clubhouse still doesn't like a lot of stuff. So, especially what he did to his now wife back in the day, which is why he got suspended. So I think those are some holdovers for Domingo. So before we get into our next segment, Dave, going to promote. You can do a promotion for SeatGeek again
At the end.
All right, we're gonna do it at the end. All right, so one of the things we've been doing here is we've been talking. Last week we were talking about who we believe are the starting outfielder, each person starting outfielder. So this week we're now talking about who should be who each person here believes the starting infield should be. So I'm gonna let Paul take first crack at this one. Paul,
don't beat me up too bad, all right?
No. It's everyone's got their thing. Who's your starting infield? Your personal starting infield. Who do you got? Each position.
Who do I want, or who do I believe?
Who do you believe?
Who do I believe?
No. Actually, no. Not who you believe. Who you want? Who do you want?
Who I want? If we're gonna go wild and crazy, I want Volpe Peraza, like I just told you guys. But what do I believe? It's gonna be Rizzo, Torres, Peraza, DJ at third. Hopefully, we can get rid of Donaldson. I can see DJ backing up second. Torres maybe backing up shortstop and put DJ at second when those guys need days off or whatever. And a wild card in this all, Andres Chaparra, he might be like a midseason call-up if something happens crazy at third, something happened crazy at first. Somebody I can kind of fill in, and he'll give you solid production, nothing too wild. And
I got you.
IKF's going to get his start. I'm still going to go back to the beginning. He's going to get a few here and there. We know that, though. If he's still on the team after spring training, he's going to get his starts, too.
I got you. All right, Dave, who you got? I'm going to swing it around.
I'm going to go with a bold prediction. So Rizzo, Volpe, Peraza, DJ.
You think Volpe's making his starting? You think he's breaking camp?
I do.
All right.
I don't know why. I just have a gut feeling.
I'll tell you one thing, man. Gleyber's had pretty good spring training as well. Listen, we're kind of blowing past that.
And
he's going to get some real.
By the time I think he
comes back from WBC,
I think he gets moved. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know why I have this feeling. I just have a gut feeling.
All right, I got you, Alex. What you got?
Hate to say it, but
guess Danny got mad at my prediction and left.
No, he didn't.
Screw you guys.
I like your prediction, Dave. I really do, but I don't see that happening. I at least at this particular moment. So I'm gonna have to say we're going to have to keep it the way it's been going forever. End of the day, yay! It sucks to say it, but yeah, I do think though that I don't know, Camp Peraza. I don't know. I think it's just gonna be what we got. We're gonna have what we've been getting for the past few years, and we're gonna hate it.
So what you're saying? You're saying it's gonna be Rizzo.
Normal.
Yeah, all right,
normal BS. The normal BS that we all hate to say.
Okay, so
I am against it, but my backbone does say it. It's gonna be the normal BS.
Okay, so just so we put it out there, you're saying it's gonna be Rizzo, it's gonna be Torres, it's gonna be IKF, and it's gonna be Donaldson. That's what you're saying is gonna be. You believe it's starting
game opening day? Yes. Now the second game day? No. It's gonna be a whole different roster. Because guess what? That's what's gonna happen.
All right.
That's when you're going to get rid of Donaldson. That's when JD is going to be out there. And okay, it could be a toss between JD and Donaldson, but that's when that's going to happen.
All right, I got you. Danny, what you got, brother?
Obviously, Rizzo, can't go wrong with that guy. And we have nobody else. So, Anthony. Anthony, Gleyber, Peraza, and DJ around the horn. Donaldson's either Donaldson or Gleyber is going to get the boot on opening day. It's just a matter of what Boone decides and matchups and all that. Past couple of years, it hasn't been Gleyber. Gleyber has been the guy that's been riding the pine come opening day, but he's a great option to come off the bench in that case. But I think over the course of 162, you're going to see a majority of that infield alignment. It's our best defensive infield alignment, and depending on DJ's health, it could also be our best offensive. Unless Donaldson takes off with the bat, which everybody in that clubhouse seems to think that he's going to bounce back. I still think it remains to be seen. Yeah, it remains to be seen what Donaldson's going to bring to the table. So based on what we've seen with DJ and Gleyber, the year he had, and he's got prospects chomping on the bit, ready to take his spot. Like I said earlier in the pod, good competition brings the best out of people at times. So I think Gleyber will finally kind of get headstrong and get off of social media and stop listening to people like us and focus on doing a good job and being the best player he can be for the Yankees.
I mean, unless he is listening to us, then don't stop that.
Yes, please, Gleyber, if you are listening.
Just mute the things that are bad about you. That's all.
Just mute Dave mostly.
I don't think he's bad. I'm just saying it's just business.
It's nothing personal, right?
Wait, no, actually, Alex wanted to trade you last year, bro. It was Alex, not Dave, last year.
He wants to jump down my throat. He wants to jump down my throat. He wants to jump down my throat for jumping off a ledge. He thought I was falling when Gleyber was 0 for whatever last summer and wanted him shot to the moon.
I still want to trade him. I don't care.
Sell high.
I'm just hoping he gets hot.
Just like the stock market. Sell high.
I hope he gets
sell high,
super
baby.
hot.
Buy low, sell high.
And we're going high to the moon.
Well, I'll say one thing with Gleyber, if you look to sell him, he's worth mid-rotate. You can get some pieces back. Even if you look just prospect wise, you can get a few decent prospects back for him.
For sure.
Or if you want, you get like a mid-rotation guy back. You can get a mid-rotation guy back for him. But staying on topic here, I think obviously there's no other reason but first base is Rizzo's position until he leaves. I think opening day. I still think Gleyber's going to be on the team opening day. I think it's going to be Rizzo, Gleyber, Peraza, and I think Donaldson. I think it's third base is Josh Donaldson's job to lose. Give him till mid to end of May, and if he's hanging on the interstate during that time and is striking out at a 33% clip, then he's just going to get DFA'd and that's a wrap for Donaldson. And by then that'll also give you the opportunity to bring Volpe up there, and then that opens up a whole nother set of things going on for that. But I can't see $21 million sitting on the bench in Donaldson. I think that DJ is going to be kind of that. He's going to roam around. He's going to play third. He's going to play a little bit of second base. He's going to play first base. So he's going to be the utility guy that they originally brought him over to be. And instead of just sticking him over at third base or sticking him at a certain position. So that's my thoughts. I think that I believe that until there's moves made, I think it's Rizzo, Torres, Peraza, Donaldson, and go and you figure you send IKF is going to go somewhere before the end of spring training. That's my thoughts. And then everyone got quiet. Michael Cruz, let's go Marlins. You know what? As long as the Marlins we got rid of Alex again. As long as I'll tell you what, man. If the Marlins wear those sugarcane jerseys with the powder blue hats and those red jerseys, those things are fire. I love that jersey, man. That's fire right there.
All right. I'm going to talk about Marlins. I'm going to say this, okay? My father-in-law is a big old Marlins fan. You know, I don't know what his wife said. He was talking trash about the Yankees the other day, and guess what she said to him? It's like, why are you talking trash? Your team hasn't even won a spring training game yet. That was her answer to him.
Damn. That's savage.
And that's from a Cuban to a Cuban. Just telling you.
Marlins fan since 93, huh? Cute. It's cute.
Marlins going to be interesting this year. Just because of their pitching.
Why? Because they signed Johnny Cueto and Gene Segura?
Because
mostly because of the pitching.
Their pitching is and they got more pitching coming up too, man. Dude, Yuri Perez is going to be nasty for them when he comes up.
Yep.
I mean, that if Sixto Sanchez ever gets his shoulder right, I mean,
man, I would love for that to happen for him.
If he gets Sixto gets his shoulder right, man, you have Sandy, you have Sixto, you got Edward Cabrera, and then you got Yuri Perez. That's as your four.
Yeah.
Forget about it, man. They only need they then need to just get rid of half of their minor league pitching and just say, give me bats. That's what I want. We need bats and get boppers, and they'll give the Mets a run for their money. They'll give the Phillies a run for their money. They'll give the Braves a run for their money.
With
that pitching could stand. That pitching could stand up. Yeah, 3 or 4 bats, they could do it. And that pitching can stand up to the Mets. It can stand up to the Mets 1-2 any day of the week.
100%. And the lefty, if he has a bounce back year too, like I think it's
Braxton
I want to say
Garrett?
Taylor Rogers, not
Rogers.
Trevor Rogers.
Trevor Rogers, yes, yeah. If he has a bounce back year, he's a really good guy that could solidify the back end and be like a legit, solid number 3, 4, 5. So
they got a bunch of kids right there ready too. So
yeah,
like Double A and Triple A, they got a bunch of pitching.
So I asked this question last. I'm not sure if you guys want to talk about it again, but I asked this question last week in terms of the infield. Where do the Yankees rank in the AL East compared to like the Blue Jays, Red Sox, Rays, and the Orioles? I think it is a good exercise to have for each group that we go over.
Oh yeah. Who you starting with, Danny?
I'm going with the Blue Jays. They have the best infield. If you go position by position, it's not even close. Like the only push might be at second. And Espinal became an all-star over Gleyber last year. I mean, I didn't think that was the case, but the coaches did. So Vladdy, perennial all-star and MVP runner. They got Espinal at second. They got Dante Bichette at short, and they got Matt Chapman, who is the best defensive third baseman in the American League. Arguably, So if you want to go down to the catching position, they're deep and they're better than Trevino and Higashioka. So the class of the infield belongs north of the border, unfortunately, for us. But I still think the Yankees are a better team overall. But anyway, Blue Jays number 1 for sure. Yankees number 2. I'm gonna put Baltimore number 3 just based on what they could do, not necessarily what they are currently. And then Tampa 4, and the Red Sox could kick rocks in 5 again.
All right, Paul, you go for it.
I'm going to agree with Danny on all of it. I think Baltimore's got a young stud infield coming up with Henderson and those guys. I would tend to agree with Danny on this one. I think the only
We've made history, Paul.
guy, what's that?
We've made history.
We agreed on one thing.
Exactly.
The only kickback I'm going to throw in there is the Red Sox do have a lot of young kids, and I'm not totally sold Kristen Arroyo is totally out of he could actually become something. He looked pretty solid last year, and spring training looked pretty good. Maybe he can finally come up. I mean, at one point he was a top prospect in baseball. Maybe he's a little bit of a late bloomer, but I agree with Danny 100%.
All right, Davey boy, what you got?
I'm gonna agree with Danny too. The Yankees are still trying to find their identity as an infield. They're trying to still figure out who belongs where. I mean, they're still trying to figure out if a third baseman can be an all-star shortstop. So, I mean, I'm not going to fight Danny on this. I completely agree with him.
Alex?
Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to be that guy that has to break the damn thing. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Nope, we do. Why? Because we have six people who could be in the infield. Okay, let's be real. Put it into Volpe and Peraza. That's 6. I'll take that right there. We have the best one, and the rest of the other 3, kick rocks. You're all number 4 now. I don't care about y'all. Done. I took your line, Danny. Kick rocks.
All right, I'm gonna have to switch it up, pull chalks and change, but it's okay.
All right, I agree with Toronto being 1, Yankees 2. I think Tampa's 3. To be honest with you, I mean, you get if Wander Franco stays healthy. I mean, he's better than he's better than any. He's the best shortstop in the American League if he's healthy. I'm going to be honest about that. So right then and there, he's better than Jorge Mateo for Baltimore, and you already got Gunnar Henderson moving to third base because you got Jackson Holiday going to be coming up in like another year or 2. So I mean, they still the rest of Tampa Bay, the rest of Baltimore is kind of still piecing it together. So I mean, they got Adley Rutschman, which kind of offsets that. But I think 1, 2, 3 is Toronto, Yankees, Blue Jays in the infield. 4 is Baltimore, and 5 obviously is the Red Sox. I don't, they have Rafi Devers, but I think that Rafi Devers is going to see a career high in walks this year. I think they'll just pitch around him and let everyone else try to beat them. I mean, unless they put like Tristan Casas right before him or right behind him, so they have to pitch. But I mean, there's nobody else. There's nobody else. Who are you going to pitch to? There's nobody else to pitch to in that line.
Not worried about Tristan Casas right now.
No, but I'm just saying, at some point there's no protection to give Rafi Devers, and there's nobody to get on base. There's not really a lot of guys to get on base before him. If you get somebody on base before him, okay, just pitch around him. Let everyone else beat me. That's what I'm saying. He'll have a career year in walks, is what I think.
Or strikeouts if he gets too jumpy, which I hope he does.
Well, yeah, but all right. I think that wraps it up for us tonight.
That's
Dave,
tonight.
Take us home, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Thanks for everyone. That again, SeatGeek. If you need tickets for your concerts, baseball games, what have you, scan that code. Brings you right to our link tree. You can go to SeatGeek, get your tickets, save $20 on your first order. First order only. You can only use it one time. So one time. And again, shout out to the Rush Hour podcast from last night for having us on. Appreciate you. To everybody overseas, we appreciate you too. Been climbing the ranks in Spain and the UK. And shout out to the people listening in Thailand. They were the latest and greatest country added to our list of analytics. So we appreciate you listening over in Asia. And Mark and I might be going to the game on Saturday. So if we end up going, we'll bring you some great content from George Steinbrenner Field for the game against the Rays on Saturday afternoon at 1:05. And that's going to do it for us tonight. So for Manny behind the scenes, Paul, Alex, Danny, and Mark, David, Bronx Muchachos, signing off. See you next week.